Hello, welcome back to another episode of The Inside. Very excited today to have David Coleman join me. He's the Vice President of Business Development from Paige. David, thanks for taking the time to do this.
Happy to be here, Lee. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. So we met a couple weeks ago, if not a week. It's funny, like this year feels like everything sort of just blended together to like one big day. And we had a conversation about what you're doing with OSDP, and we'll get into that. But I found that the history of yourself and the family and the companies that you've been with, you've all been around for a very long time and instrumental in a lot of the areas, but maybe not as well known as some of the end devices that people, but definitely critical in the success of many companies that have been around. So if you don't mind, can you give us a little bit of background of yourself, the company, some of the history as well, and then we'll jump into the OSDP part of this.
Yeah, of course, happy to. So I am the fourth generation in my family in wire and cable. I like to say that makes us wire geeks, and have been around it for a long time, starting back with Coleman Cable. Coleman Cable, diversified manufacturer of all sorts of wire and cable solutions. It's now part of Southwire. Our business was sold to a private equity fund back in 1990. And then we started Genesis Cable Systems towards the late end of the 90s. I think it was actually about August of 96 when we started Genesis Cable, focused exclusively in low voltage wire and cable. That business did grow quickly. And in 2004, we sold that to Honeywell. Genesis is now part of Resideo, spun out of Honeywell. And after that, we started the private equity fund where we could buy small businesses in the security industry, grow them while working hands-on to a point where they would be more easily acquired by larger public companies. And we did that first with a couple of integrators and then a manufacturer and e-commerce and a few other businesses like that. And in 2015, our friends at Paige, who had started the company in 1958, were looking at retirement and a succession plan and decided that they wanted another family to come in who knew about the wire and cable space and can continue to make it feel like a family business while keeping it an employee-owned company as it is. And so we were a good fit for that. And in 2016, we started officially as the new management team at Paige. It continues to be an employee-owned business. And over the last several years, we've had a lot of exciting new divisions that have sprouted up. We've had some great new products that have come to market. We've expanded our factories. We've expanded our distribution centers. And today we are a little more than 200 people spread out across the world, but headquartered in New Jersey. I personally am in Chicago.
Okay, very good. So just a basic question around like, why wire? Like what got your family into that business? Because it's not, as I've been looking at the history of electronic access control, it's amazing the sort of, I'll call them the unsexy parts of the business of how influential they are though in the success of them. But, it's, I mean, being fair, it's not, this isn't the sexy
It's part, not as sexy to most people as it is to me, perhaps.
But it makes money. I get that. But, but like what got you into
story.
it?
There's a story. It's great. So my great-grandfather, for whom I was named, David Coleman, he was selling gumball machines and jukeboxes, and he's going in and out of bars and stuff, where he would sell them, and he would at times find that maybe a rough crowd had pulled the jukebox out of the wall and needed to have the cord repaired. And so he would walk around, he had 6 feet of wire. He'd come in, he'd fix the cable for the jukebox and go on his way. And when he ran out, he ordered more. And the delivery, when it showed up, were 2 6-foot diameter reels of wire, more than he would ever need in a lifetime of selling jukeboxes. And the delivery guy actually talked him into kind of just keeping it and selling it as surplus. And he started with that. And ultimately, it grew to be Electrical Conductors Incorporated, ECI, which then later became Coleman Cable. And when what started with gumball machines and peanut machines and jukeboxes, it turned into something totally different. But certainly,
awesome.
we're grateful for it.
No, that's awesome. I love those stories because they sometimes get lost, especially you hear so much about the technology companies and sort of the way and like the processes that you go raise a bunch of money and you do all that stuff. But it's actually, there's a lot of them that start off selling gumball machines, seeing an opportunity and turning it into something. So I think we need to celebrate some of that in the past more often. So it's great to hear. I appreciate that. So let's fast forward then to the recent news where you all have introduced a cable specifically for the OSDP marketplace and the contractors around that. Can you talk to me a little bit about why don't you give background what it is, and then let's talk about sort of like what is the purpose of it, what are you satisfying there, how you view OSDP and the opportunity that exists with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think we've always identified with the security industry, with our place in the security industry being that we want to listen to our customers, ask open-ended questions, and try to get a sense of what's their pain in the butt. What are their underserved needs? What are the areas of wire-related business that we can help them with? And over the last few years, whether it's been with Game Changer Cable or our PerimeGuard set of asset protection products, we have really kind of tried to focus in on what we feel are underserved portions of the market for the security industry. And over the last 18 months, we've watched OSDP because we have a real concern and we want to make a real effort to help make our buildings more secure and more intelligent. We feel that OSDP does exactly that. In fact, it's the only choice to make our buildings more secure and more intelligent. And from a wire and cable perspective, there just wasn't a lot of options for that composite style access control cable that has everything that you need under one jacket and checks the boxes for these secure channel RS-45 type of communication. So we felt that we could play a role in helping close the education gap and raise awareness that this is the only choice that we should be making for our buildings when we want them more secure, more intelligent. And that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I like the approach that you're taking with the education side. So you're not just out, yes, you're selling cable to people, but it's done through an education standpoint of helping move along the importance. I mean, I'm seeing it from conversations with people that it's definitely an area that people would like to go. There's still a need to answer sort of the existing marketplace, right, of install that's there, but new construction wise, I mean, I haven't seen a good reason why you wouldn't at this point at all. So,
and by the way, kudos to you and the efforts that you're making to help raise awareness on this same front as well. We're hoping to ride in the wake that you and others are have created in front of us.
No, I appreciate that, and I saw also you on Low Voltage Nation as well, which is a great group as well. That I think we'll look back 10 years from now, the influence that a group like that, it's sort of a new breed of consortium of installers. So I'm excited to see you doing that as well.
The word community really comes to mind when thinking of
perfect
LVN. Yeah,
100%, 100%. And anything Blake.
Shout out to our Low Voltage Nation, members.
Yes, there you go. Always very good to give them that. But very good. So, if from an education standpoint, what do you suggest if people want to learn more information about it? Like, where do they go to find out? What do you have as far as resources to help there?
Yeah, so I mean, pagedatacom.com/OSDP is going to be a place that you can come kind of start with some information, but we don't pretend to be the only source. And there's the SIA website, I think, is a great one. Security Industry Association's website. There are plenty of other manufacturers. Not to call out specifics and leave others out, but I know like HID as an example has for a long time been promoting good education about this, and there's plenty of others as well. Yeah. But really what you should be considering is, all right, more secure that always sounds better, right? But
Right.
what's the other side of that coin? What are the other people saying? And this is an instance where the Wiegand style systems that have been around since Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record in 1974. It's not just they need an upgrade because new tech is available. It's really the fact that inexpensive, easy to acquire hacks are available for anyone with a screwdriver, and $79 and maybe a laptop could come in and access a secure building. And in today's world, I think that once you know that that is the threat and the concern, that you have a responsibility to make sure, if you're in the security industry, that you're helping people identify what concerns and threats that they should be aware of, and give them a plan to make sure that they're not going to fall, victim to a hack or an attack like that.
Yeah. No, and this is where I feel like there's a pivotal point currently right now and something that I'm working on is sort of like this idea around the next generation of access control, what that means. And it's actually leveraging the history that we do have from like 1973, the electronic access control industry, but blossoming from a high security standpoint to really around, in my opinion, it's like 2000, I think it's 9 or 7 when the iPhone was introduced. You start to see convenience conversations and things become a bit more digital, and then to now where it's like, all right, it's time for it to evolve, especially as it continues to go a bit more mainstream. And it's not that the old is bad. It's just, I think as an industry that need to sort of continue to evolve, like molt a bit, if you would, to do that, to shed, so that we continuously are delivering on what the market needs are, and a more secure infrastructure, especially as we go more mainstream and other people come into the industry from the outside world are going to take a look at it and be like, yeah, this old infrastructure has to kind of go at this point to be able to support the new use cases, which is a more secure cybersecurity, like whatever the security needs are around that. I think that demand is actually now there, and this is a good opportunity now. And it feels like there's industry. I mean, there's definitely pockets where this isn't existing, but it does feel like there's more industry momentum pointing in this direction. And you either can get on it probably now, or you're going to be a follower of it when it's going to come. But it's not a case of if, it's a case of when at this point. I think now is a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. In addition to the security, which is, I think, number one on the list of why people should choose OSDP, I think it's also helpful to kind of point out some of the other advanced features, the way that it's more simple to integrate your access systems with your other security systems, and how it's easier to upgrade, let's say, a card reader, or more importantly, upgrade a bunch of card readers from one location. So there's a lot of benefits to the installer community as well as the end user community, and of course, ANIs or specifiers of any sort. Everyone really has some skin in the game and a good reason why they should be promoting OSDP, in addition to just the security reasons.
100%. I think that's a good place to end on that note, because that's sort of summarizes exactly what the opportunity there. So again, if somebody wants to find out more information, it's pageconnected.com.
Paige. So the fastest way to get to that is going to be pagedatacom.com/OSDP.
Got it.
And we welcome you there. You'll find a little chat bot. You might find me or one of the members of my team waiting and happy to chat with you. And we look forward and hope that you come.
Love it. So from gumballs to OSDP, I appreciate it. David, thank you very much for taking the time. It's great to catch up. I've enjoyed the quick introduction of meeting you and this ongoing conversations, and I appreciate what you all do and educating and pushing the market forward. So thank you.
Happy to do it. Thanks so much. Appreciate you having me on, Lee.
Of course. Thank you.
Take care.